Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Tuesday, the 19th of December, 2023. And the time is, we're talking 5:25 p.m. Central Time. So where are we in the market? Well, we're in ho land. I used to call up my niece and nephew and pretend I was Santa calling them, "Hey, kids, you've been good and bright?" And ho. Well, that's how it feels in the stock market. Every day you come in, it's higher. Volume is falling away. Be extremely careful, because at any point this market begs a correction for no other reason that it's gone up so much without one. That's about it. I wish I could tell you there was more. The events in the Red Sea, we will see if the coalition, the group of wimps, can get together and do something about the Houthis in Yemen. I mean, they are holding world trade up dramatically, and I find it hard to believe that we've all put all these tax dollars, not just in America, be it Spanish, be it the UK, the Netherlands, all these ships that have to get through there, and the coalitions together to do something and open the seaway and keep it free, and we can't do that. There's something not right here. So I will say it's one of two things. Either we have thrown our money away on all these arms and we've made a mistake, or we have wimps starting from government right through the military that aren't getting their job done. Now, I don't think it's the military. Let's remove them, because I don't believe so at all. I think that if they had their druthers, they'd go in and get the job done. So military people, A+. I think you're ready to do your jobs, and I think you do it every day. Who does that leave? Who does that leave? Need I say any more? So the head wimp has to get his act together and do something about it, okay? It's time. And what everybody's scared of, well, you'll drag the U.S. into a war. Well, let me tell you, if the Red Sea is closed, you're in a form of a war. You've already got Israel full in there. We have Ukraine full in there. The America has a war, as I call it, on the border, because you just have an open border policy that's run amok. Nobody writes me and tells me why the Democrats refuse to close the border. I mean, I've asked you over and over, and I get thousands of views. Nobody is writing. Intelligent. Don't tell me it's to overthrow the government. The nonsense. I can't find the reason, and I guarantee that I have a bunch of bright listeners. They can't either. Nobody can figure this out. Why is the president making this stand? Do you remember when he took office, he assigned Camilla to go down there and solve the border situation? Well, we're a heartbeat away from that person that can't do a job, can't even do the one thing they gave her. And the head guy, God knows where he's at. So enough of that. All right. So we come to the S&P, and that doesn't seem to mind anything. I mean, this is unbelievable. I thought, and I'm the first to tell you, I thought that not this week, but the week before, we'd get more consolidation. We're in the Santa Claus rally. I explained it last night. It's 5 days, trading days before Christmas, according to Yale Hirsch, and then the first 2 trading days after. After that, I don't care. This is the Santa Claus rally. Think of it as a seasonal trade. And my gosh, has it been one trade. That does not mean it goes up every single day. That's not what it's about. The higher it goes now, any form of a correction, the question is, how much does it come back at you? But each day this market goes higher, you're forcing the likes, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all these analysts keep running back, and it's almost like every 3 days. We have a new target for 2024, and that's because the market is climbing way more than anybody thought late into the year. And what's there to stop it? That's the problem. Where are the sellers going to come from? A lot of people have made their adjustments. The average guy is getting ready to leave with his family or be with his family and enjoy Christmas. And probably the last thing he's doing is trading the market right now. Volume falls apart. Did you look at airports? All those people, about half of America owns stocks. They're traveling, a big amount of them. You got to remember that. We keep moving up. You'll know that you got a bit of a problem should the market get back under 47.50, 7.50. until that, you just keep climbing higher highs and you keep climbing away at it. And you're running the Bollinger Band, but not staying over it. It's the most bullish situation you can get when you have an embedded reading. It doesn't get any better than that. Yes, someday, somewhere, somehow, the plug will get pulled and the market will get a correction. Don't play for it. Let it occur. Don't be the hero. Well, this is it. You get yourself into trouble doing that. You don't fight trends. You defend your positions. You don't fight trends. What about the NASDAQ? Well, you've pulled this back into the embedded reading, and it's doing the same. Notice it doesn't stay over the band. Under, over, back and forth. Nothing excessive. In the mini Dow, it did the same. And it's come right back. And look at how long this has stayed embedded. And from the time it embedded, for those of you that have had the wherewithal, the smarts, to learn about this in our enhanced Bollinger Band course, look at the power of that move. Then the Russell finally joined in the parade. They're not going to be let out. Now, I'm still not convinced that this is going to outpace the other indices, but pacing the industries, indices is what I meant to say. I'm screwed up here. My mind's already going to the grocery store to figure what I'm going to eat tonight. My wife is gone. She's out of town, so it's me. Higher lows, higher highs. And I've worked 9 hours today already, so I am getting hungry. In the 10-year note, locked in, embedded. I think the pros will buy until the red line closes under 79, then they'll call it a year. They'll probably walk away from the market. But until that occurs, I think they're sitting there buying the market. I don't think they're doing that in the 5-year. You're not with the embedded reading. You're overbought. Not here. So you got to be very cautious. Do you want to reach down and get these markets, or do you want to sit back and just say, hey, I'm going to be very quiet. Let's get through Christmas. We'll do some trading in front of the new year. Then I'll dust off my fingers, my keyboard. Maybe I'll buy a new one. Then I can start the trading. Isn't that basically what goes on? In the dollar index, I remain in the bear camp, lower highs, lower lows. Look at how that 100-day average stopped this rally and drove this market down. The lowest low it's recently made is 101.39. You're 40 points away, not very far away at all. But I wouldn't be pushing the market under Bollinger Bands. I never tell you to do that to begin with. And the question is the euro going to come alive or not? It hasn't. It's overbought. It's got a funny pattern. It's got lower highs, higher lows. That is not a trend. Even if it takes out this high, it gets right into the Bollinger Band. The market is screaming at me, the way that I analyze charts, stay away. Do nothing. There's not a play there. In the British pound, you're up at the key resistance, at the upper Bollinger Band. I don't see anything there. In the Japanese yen, you know that Mr. Ueda came out and he said, you know something? We're not going to run the Bank of Japan the way that the Americans run their central bank or the Europeans run theirs. We're not going to tell you what we're going to do. We don't want to prep you for it. We're just going to do it when we decide to do it, and now is not the time we're doing anything. We still believe at this point that we need a low currency. We have to spur on everything we're doing to keep that inflation locked in. We don't think it's locked in enough, and we don't think we have enough labor growth. That's basically what he said at the meeting, so you got to pay attention to him. Then we get to the Brent versus the WTI crude, and because of the Red Sea, you expanded the differential between WTI and Brent. Brent caught the better bid, and away you went up to the difference. Now, up here, we've rallied into a key number, the 200-day average. It had been acting as support for the longest period of time. Then the market, and I think you can see that, then the market got underneath everything. So now is it going to do what it's supposed to? Once you're under it this long, it should be the resistance point. We'll see if that's it. I think you know the flashpoint is if you can't send the tankers out, or God forbid a tanker were sunk by a drone or a missile, big problems. At the other hand of this, what's putting this up in a way is now you got to take a route that could take X days, 5 days, and you got to add another 6, 7 a week to it because you got to add all those miles to get away from the Red Sea and wherever you're going. Each day, when you have these tankers, you're paying by the day. It costs a fortune for these companies, and that drives up the price of the energy, and that's what's behind this. So they've got to end this. It's to everybody's advantage. Europe doesn't want higher energy inflation. The U.S. doesn't. Nobody does, except the Middle East. They want it because it helps their budget with Saudi Arabia, so they'll be the first to say, we cannot do anything against the Houthis. We cannot do that. We don't need another war here. Of course, they'd rather have no traffic because every day the prices go higher and they'll find a way. They're just producing the oil. They don't care what you pay. Think of the logic I just gave you, and you think that isn't at work. In the heating oil, we have a market with a higher high and a lower low. But now tonight, did we just take out, this might have just changed already. The high was 2.7034. I knew I had that wrong. And tonight we just got higher. Nope. This red arrow is now pointing higher. So now you got higher highs, higher lows. You're back in your uptrend, and the momentum's still pointing to the upside. And when we step over here right now and we get to the nat gas, higher high, lower low. I don't see anything fresh that you do there. I'm going to remind you one last time that we have our special currency report. It goes off today. I don't know what time. It should have been off. I checked it a moment ago. It was still on, but the computer will knock it off probably this evening. If you want to see what I'm predicting in the dollar index with my report, it goes off today, so you won't ever see it again. And it came out Thursday, and it's bearish, and the dollar has been falling. So far I've been okay. How do you get to it? There's a cursor up at the top. Give it a click or go to iraepstein.com. And when there, go to the word research. You will see it. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.